Hey guys, I'm TecworkZ from TecworkZ, and this is my full review of the Xiaomi Mi 5. Xiaomi is still persistent on following the flash sale model for selling its smartphones in India. And frankly, people are getting a bit tired of it. It is extremely difficult to get this phone in the flash sale right now. On top of that, you don't even have a choice of color or storage option. The only model which you can order right now is the white colored phone with 32GB of built-in storage and 3GB of RAM. With that out of the way, let's get into the actual review of this phone. The first thing which you notice when you pick up this phone is how light it is. With the aluminium frame and Gorilla Glass 4 all around, Mi 5 weighs in at just 129 grams. Thanks to its size and slightly curved edges at the back, it fits perfectly in my hand. It might seem like the Mi 5 has borrowed the curved back design from the Samsung Galaxy S7 and S7 Edge, but that's not the case. They borrowed this design from their own Mi Note, which was launched almost a year ago. With a 5.15-inch display and very thin bezels all around, Mi 5 has a very manageable form factor, and almost all people will be able to use it with just one hand. Having a glass back makes it look very beautiful, but it also makes it a lot slippery and a fingerprint magnet. White phone does a slightly better job of hiding the fingerprints, but slapping a case on this phone could solve both these problems. The fingerprint sensor is placed under the home button below the display. This sensor is not always on, so you have to press the home button so it scans your fingerprint. But all this happens extremely fast. Setting up this sensor is super easy and it is very accurate as well. I prefer the fingerprint sensor at the front since my phone is kept on the table facing up most of the day. Now here is a small tip for you guys. If you want to unlock the phone faster, just press the home button when the device is sleeping. For some reason, if you try to unlock it from the lock screen or by waking up the device by pressing the power button first, then it takes a few extra milliseconds to unlock. You get two capacitive buttons on each side of the home button. These are backlit dots and you can easily swap their functions from the settings menu. At the bottom, you have a single downward firing speaker on the right. The grill on the left is not a speaker and it is only housing the microphone. Sound from this speaker is not the best I have heard, and it starts to sound a bit tinny at higher volumes. Overall, with the curved edges at the back and chamfered aluminum edges at the front, the Mi 5 looks beautiful and feels very comfortable in your hand. The 5.15-inch display has a resolution of 1920 by 1080 and a pixel density of 428 pixels per inch. With 600 nit brightness, it is an ultra bright display and is easily viewable in direct sunlight. Some people are disappointed for it not being a Quad HD display, but I think it's not a huge deal breaker considering the size of the display and the fact that 1080p panel draws less power, so the battery can last a bit longer. This display is very crisp and you get wide viewing angles with deep blacks and vibrant colors. From the display settings, you can even customize the colors and contrast of the display according to your liking. Mi 5 is the first phone in India to ship with Snapdragon 820 processor. It's a quad-core processor clocked at 1.8 GHz. It also packs in Adreno 530 GPU, and as I said before, right now in India it only comes with 3GB of RAM and 32GB of internal storage options. You don't even have an option to expand the storage via microSD card. There is an infrared sensor at the top, so you can use it to control your TV or other household appliances. You also have all the usual connectivity options like LTE, 802.11 dual band Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 4.2, NFC and GPS. Right out of the box, Mi 5 is running version 7 of MIUI, which is built on Android Marshmallow 6.0. This is the first time I am using a Xiaomi device for an extended time, so I am new to this user interface. You don't have the app drawer like we get on most other Android devices, and all the apps are placed either on the home screen or within the folders on home screen, just like on iOS. Some Marshmallow features like Google Now on tap are nowhere to be found on this version of the MIUI. It takes a bit of time to get used to this new user interface. Swiping down from the top brings you to the notification area, and all the toggles or quick settings are hidden to the right side of this panel. If you don't like the look of this theme, then you can choose a different one from the themes section or even install a separate launcher of your choice. Other than changing the theme, you can also change or customize what the notification buttons can do. You can even set these buttons to perform various tasks on long pressing them. The home button is a physical button which you have to press down. But from the settings menu, you can set it to be used as a capacitive button as well. It is nice to be able to do that, as I find the home button to be a bit too hard to press. The music listening experience via headphones is really good. The Mi Sound Enhancer allows you to tweak the audio settings according to the headphones which you have plugged in. It gives you a very pleasurable music listening experience. If you guys want me to do a separate video covering all the aspects of this Mi UI, then let me know in the comment section. All these software customization options are really very helpful if you want your smartphone to be specifically tailored to your needs. But for some reason, I am not a big fan of this UI. I prefer the simplicity and the cleaner look which stock Android offers. But that's just my choice. Thanks to the latest Snapdragon 820 processor, Adreno 530 GPU and 3GB of RAM, you get pretty high benchmark scores. The benchmark scores, however, don't portray the real-life performance of any smartphone. So I have tested this phone for the last 3 weeks, and I can tell you all the everyday applications and games run without a hitch. In the last few days, I have been playing a lot of games on this phone. Whether you are playing casual games or high FPS games, they all run without any lag. While playing Asphalt 8 for some time, the phone got a bit hot near the camera. It's not uncomfortably hot, and this only happened while I was playing Asphalt 8 or shooting 4K videos for some time. The Mi UI is pretty heavy, and out of the 3GB of RAM, it only leaves around 1.8GB for the user out of a fresh boot. Having multiple apps opened in the background occasionally slowed things down a bit. I think it's an issue with the memory management, and I hope it can be fixed with a software update in the future. Other than this small hiccup, the overall performance of the Mi 5 is top notch. This phone packs in a 16 megapixel rear camera with f2.0 aperture, 4-axis optical image stabilization, 6-piece lens, and dual LED two-tone flash. This camera is capable of shooting 4K videos in 30 frames per second and 720p slow-mo videos in 120 frames per second. It's nice to have this camera flushed into the body and not sticking out like on the iPhone 6 and 6s and the new Samsung Galaxy S7 and S7 Edge. At the front, you get a 4 megapixel camera with large 2 micron pixels. What this means is, in spite of just being a 4 megapixel sensor, it captures a lot more light than usual and results in overall better images. This camera performs really well in natural and artificial lighting conditions. It however lags behind in low lighting conditions. What I like most about this camera is the manual shooting mode. You can get some great looking images by tweaking the ISO, white balance and exposure levels. I have a separate in-depth review of the camera of the Mi 5. I'll leave a card to that video on the top right side of the screen and also link to it in the description section. Definitely check it out if you are interested in the image samples of the Mi 5. You get a 3000 mAh non-removable battery inside this phone. It charges via USB Type-C cable and supports Quick Charge 3.0. The charger which comes inside the box only supports Quick Charge 2.0, which is very disappointing. Due to the 1080p screen and the battery optimization that Android Marshmallow provides, the Mi 5 easily lasts me an entire day with a screen on time of a bit over 5 hours. I typically end my day with about 15 to 18% of battery still remaining, and that's without making any changes in the battery settings. You could probably get even more out of this battery if you adjust the power settings. The standby time on this phone is pretty amazing as well. This is the first Xiaomi flagship which I used for an extended period, and I am really impressed with this phone. It is facing a bit of heat in India because of being priced at 24,999 rupees. Everyone expected it to be priced at around 22,000 rupees mark. But even at this price, it's an amazing device. It packs in many features that other flagships like the Samsung Galaxy S7 offers, but at a fraction of its price. The screen size and the weight makes it perfect for a single-handed use, which is quite rare these days. There are also a few things which I don't like about this phone. It is extremely slippery, so I always have to keep it covered in a case, which takes away its beauty. Then there is the camera, which does not live up to the hype that Xiaomi has created, and I feel that the 4-axis optical image stabilization is just a marketing gimmick, and it is not that better than the normal 3-axis OIS. You don't have an option to expand the storage later on, and right now we don't even have an option to buy a 64-bit variant in different colors in India. And finally, the Mi UI takes a different approach towards Android, and I think it isn't for everyone. This could however be fixed with a custom ROM or by installing a launcher of your choice. Next, I am planning to get the Samsung Galaxy S7. But if Xiaomi launches the 64GB variant of the Mi 5 in black color anytime soon, then it might well be my daily driver for the next few months. That is it for this video guys. Let me know what you guys think of the Mi 5 in the comment section. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and also subscribe to my channel for more cool videos like this. You can also check out some of the other videos on my channel. This is Sagar. and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.